Welcome to Bruins Diehards, your source for all things Boston Bruins. Today, we're going to talk about Will Zellers, James Hagens, and the amazing World Junior Championship that's going on because we want to focus on some positives. Yes, the Bruins lost the other day to the Calgary Flames. There's reasons for that. And as I asked everybody to give me some questions, we're going to do those. This is going to be the last part of the year. You're probably watching this or listening to this on New Year's Eve, but I am with one of my very good friends, Evan Marinofsky. How you doing, Evan?
I'm great, Court. A great way to end the year. A
Yes.
great way to end the year. Who would I rather be with? All
Yes.
right? Like,
Yes.
this is exactly
Hey,
ringing out
Evan of Neston
2025.
fan of fame, people. Evan was
Oh,
just
yeah.
twice now. You've been on. Is that twice or three times?
Twice, yeah. See, I said people are getting sick of me. I gotta limit my stuff. But for you, Court, anytime.
Well, I
Anytime. You know that.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. But I know we're it's not that we're time constraints, but Evan is a little under the weather, people. So, give him some leeway here. And I promised the listeners that we would answer questions. We will get to that at the end. But honestly, we'll do quickly the Bruins game against the Calgary Flames. Here's my cliff notes. Way too many damn penalties. Absolutely atrocious. Asperot comes back, looks good, and then in the third period, they all collapsed and they stunk. I thought Swayman played well. He played well enough to win that hockey game. Both goals were both scored on rebounds. I can't blame a goalie when goals are scored on rebounds, but I'm sure the chat will regardless. I even saw people yesterday, not in mine, but like on social media saying, trade Swayman, it's his fault they lost. And I was like, I honestly, at this point, I think we're watching different hockey games. I thought it was a good bounce back game for him. I thought Nikita Zadorov started playing, running around chicken like his head cut off again and trying to hit everything that moves. I thought David Pastrnak, I've been seeing stuff on social media and I went back to watch. Yes, I do not like the body language. I do not like the looks he's giving, but I think I agree with some on the internet of he is doing this because he's mad at himself. I think the Bruins are frustrated and I think they needed a break. Evan?
I'll sum it up like this because I stayed up and watched it. I wasn't, as Court, as you said, I haven't been feeling great the last couple of days. I think it's just like a cold, so I'm not, not anything terrible. They're playing like a bottom five team. They're playing like a bottom five team. I think it really comes down to that. Everything you just mentioned, I think you've seen it for the last 2.5 weeks here where they've been without a win for a while. Where they look like you see like Dom at the Athletics model continues to have the Bruins as a team that'll finish in the bottom five. I still don't think they do. Even through all this, I still think they are somewhere in the middle to low middle, but they've played like a bottom five team for the last couple of weeks. And defensively, there have been so many holes. And they haven't been great defensively all year. I think they've just been bailed out by great goaltending, and they haven't been getting that elite S tier caliber goaltending. Swayman has regressed a little bit. I'm with you, Court. I don't think those were his fault last night. They got to do a better job clearing the front of the net. That lies on the defense. But Korpisalo also, I don't think Sturm trusts him at all. Sub 900 save percentage in November and December. I think he started a total, though, of 8 games, which that tells you a lot. Your backup goalie's only played 8 games in 2 months. That in a condensed schedule. And then up front, the offense has regressed a little bit. They're not, they're still 11th in the league in goals for last I checked, which is fine. That's above average. But it's not doing enough to make up for them being a bottom 5 team in terms of goals against and team defense. So look, Court, we'll talk about World Juniors. It's a different year watching the World Juniors. You're watching them going, Chase Reed could be a Bruin. That guy could be a Bruin. This guy could be a Bruin. And it's because of the way they've been playing lately. So yeah, they're playing like a bottom 5 team.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because the Athletic has pretty much had them as a bottom 5 team all year, even when they were winning.
Yeah.
Right now the Bruins are 2 points out of a playoff spot in their division behind the Florida Panthers, but everybody's got games in hand on the Bruins. The Bruins, I don't want to give them an excuse. They have had the toughest schedule pretty much in the NHL so far. But at the same time, they are regressing. The line juggling from Sturm is always I feel is a panic move, but this is going to sound crazy. Tanner Jeannot was skating, so it looks like he's going to be coming back in the lineup. He was in a non-contact jersey. It's very interesting. He went from being sick to coming back in a non-contact jersey, which is very interesting sickness. Unless unless he had like pneumonia or something. Like I'm very
Mono
confused.
would be the one thing that you would not do.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
wouldn't
I
come
guess
back
he
that
was out by
fast
himself,
after
right?
mono.
He wasn't
You
out with the rest of the guys.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't mono. I'm not speculating with
Yeah,
him, but
no, I
like
get it. It's
mono
Crohn's
would
disease. You know,
be.
he's going around making it with everybody. Evan said it.
Yeah. No, mono would be the one thing, but you wouldn't come back that soon for mono. Like you'd be out much longer. You would not be playing hockey with mono. So yeah, I don't know. That is interesting though. With
Yeah,
him.
it's interesting. They originally were able to inject stuff in the lineup and do some things, and it was working. I thought pass on the third line was dreadful last night. They started playing better in the third period, but it was really a too little, too late at that point. Um, I think the Bruins look flat. The Calgary Flames did not play well, and the Bruins should have won that hockey game, and they didn't. It's plain and simple. I don't think we can dwell on this as much, because honestly, I want to focus on the positives. Because at this point, that's really what we have. We have two Bruins prospects right now, and we have the number one James Hagens fan on this podcast to talk about Will Zellers dominating World Juniors right now. And as someone who lives in Canada, he is all over Canadian news right now, Will Zellers. And
Is he?
James
Why?
Hagens has come out of his shell to be talked about as well. I know he's only got 4 points in the tournament, but Will Zellers went from being a fourth liner / bottom six player for Team USA, who barely made the team, might I add, because he wasn't on the roster. He was added late, but in 3 games, he has 4 goals, 2 assists. His shooting percentage is 66% right now. Will Zellers is fantastic in the World Juniors, and I love seeing it. Evan, what do you think of Zellers and Hagens, how they played so far for Team USA?
Well, I gotta start pumping the brakes on Hagens because everybody turns to me as like, you're his biggest fan. And I'm like, I'm
I just
not.
love doing that to you, but
You do. I'm like, I've got to start like ragging on this kid. Zellers to me is the big story, or at least was going into going into Monday night. He's on, I think, their second power play unit because I think Yzerman's on the first one as sort of the one-timer option on that.
yes,
right
and they've moved Zellers now onto Hagen's line, which
Yeah,
for Bruins fans, that's fantastic.
That's big. And they were jumbling Hagens around a little bit though yesterday because they had him with Stiga as well. So like they're trying to figure out what works best for him. I like Hagens with Zellers, not just for the Bruins perspective, but also like Hagens is a pure passer who is showing more assertiveness with his shot, which I like. You saw that on Monday night. He wasn't deferring. We've seen this a little bit more at BC, especially when he moved to the wing. Less of hey, I've got to pass this puck off and make my teammates better, and a little bit
the
more
opposite of what Pasternak is doing right now.
Yes, a little bit more of I've got to rip this thing, and he has a great shot. But Zellers is the breakout guy, and I think I talked about this on Bruins Beat on Monday, where like when he was drafted out of Shattuck, and so when you're drafted out of prep school nowadays, there's some questions. It's like, okay, you're crushing it at that level. What does that mean down the road? I'll give you a point of reference. So a couple of years ago, I'm not going to say the person's name, they had over 80 points in New England prep hockey. They were a senior, committed to a Division I school, and they were someone that was draft eligible. And so scouts were watching that player, and they said, well, his skating's not great. And, I think he's just dominating level because he's older. And I remember thinking at the time, like, oh, he's 80 something points. Like, how do you not just take a 7th round flyer on this kid? Maybe he's produced at every level. Maybe he'll continue to. And he struggled like crazy in junior hockey. And now the future of his hockey career is up in general. Like, and I'm not going to say who the person is. So that's an example of like what can come out of prep school sometimes. It can get
the opposite of Dean Letoruneau right now.
Yes, the exact opposite. Like actually those two went up against each other, and the kid I just mentioned had a better game than Dean Letourneau back in the game I'm thinking of. But at any rate, so a player coming out of Shattuck, not to bog everybody down to these details, but a player coming out of prep like Zellers can be looked at by scouts like, I don't really know. Like maybe he's just dominating because he's 18 and he's better than everybody, but he's not, a pro player. Taken to the 3rd round, and he's produced everywhere, and he's scoring at North Dakota. He's scoring in World Juniors. And he's really good. It's sort of like Connor used this analogy of like geeky, good at getting open, really good shot, like not flashy. I think Zellers' compete is very high, which I like a lot, but like
very much like a Cole Caulfield. He's got a lot of the similarities, but I think he's stronger.
Yeah. And bigger. Like that helps. So
that's the stronger part.
Yeah. So to me, like I think this World Juniors, it's funny, like I was going back and looking at the Athletics preseason prospect rankings, and they included Providence Bruins in that for the Bees, but like they had him outside of the top 8. They had him in like the honorable mentions for the Bruins prospect pool. And I think
Yeah, the Hockey News.
I don't remember what the
The
Hockey News
Hockey
had.
News did too. They had him. They
Okay.
had him outside the top 10, which
So
is
the Athletic,
interesting because
yeah,
he was the piece in the Charlie Coyle trade.
he
Casey
was.
Middleton was the throw-in, not Will Zellers.
And that's why I was kind of surprised that Zellers wouldn't at least be. But again, like it was Corey Pronman doing it, and Pronman's watched him for a while, and he has legitimate gripes. That's fine. I'm not going to disagree with that. But to me, I don't know. He to me right now, outside of guys in Providence, maybe even including guys in Providence, he's like your second best prospect. Like he's moved into that.
And I think agreeing. This is the most I've got to watch him. So for the listeners who are not in the Canadian region, such as myself, World Juniors is like I literally was wearing a Team Canada World Junior sweater before I started and put on my Bruins sweater before I did the pod here. It is all we care about at this time of the year. The Bruins game was on. I watched the Team Canada game last night. I watched the Bruins game this morning. I watched the Team USA game yesterday. I watched the Finland game. All I've done every day is watch World Junior hockey because I truly feel that it's some of the best hockey you can watch. It is
Going
some of the
from,
best
I will not
barometer.
to interrupt, but going from Team USA's game against Slovakia to that Bruins Flames game was a big step down. Like it's like, ooh, this is different. Yeah, not the same. Like I love best on best at any age and any level is as good as you're gonna get.
And that USA game yesterday was one heck of a hockey game. I think the glaring hole I see from Team USA is their goaltending isn't the best. They just
Agreed.
aren't.
Yep.
I think Canada has better goaltender, and we'll see what happens. I think you people might want to watch out. Mr. McKenna kind of woke up yesterday, but I thought that Team USA team showed a lot of heart. I really liked the play of Will Zellers. I love the fact that he started as a bottom 6 guy in this tournament, and in 3 games he's moved his way up all the way to the top 6 and playing power play minutes because his coach is seeing what we're all seeing as we're watching. I really like his forecheck. I actually really like the way he's going the corners. I actually like my crazy prediction for this kid right now. I didn't think he was anything. Like I knew he was good. Dominic Tiano kept telling me how good this kid was. I just didn't think he was, we need to sign him at the end of the year because you don't want him to spend another year in university good. And it's him playing this well against the best players in the world for his age. And that's what I always really want the barometer of the World Juniors to be. You can always see a guy go to college, like McKenna goes to Penn State, or guys playing in the OHL, and they light it up. But when they go to the World Juniors, this is the closest thing you've got to pro hockey for these kids at a level. This is the closest thing you've got to playing at a high level. And if you look at the history of the World Juniors and the guys that have shown blown up, like Cole Caulfield, Alex Ovechkin, John Tavares, Connor Bedard, you know, I could keep going down the list.
Any top player you can think of had a huge World Juniors.
Exactly.
Yes.
And Will Zellers is doing that right now. Hagens had a great game last game. I thought I was very impressed with this game. That goal he scored at the beginning of the third period, I was like, wow. He just came out like a cannon and he didn't care. His throw off and watching the play, he makes that pass and knows he's getting that puck back. But no one on the other team did. And it was very smart. And that was another thing I get to watch him now. I don't get to watch college hockey here in Canada. We don't get it on TV. We will next year. That's one of the things that's coming to a lot of Canadian players are going. So I think that's where we're getting it. But my prediction is the Bruins are seriously going to, I think James Hagens 100% at the end of this year in college, he's going to be playing with the Providence Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
I really doubt they're going to have him in Boston because I just don't see the point, especially the way this team is playing. But I have a sinking suspicion that they're extremely considering Will Zellers as another piece that they want into the Providence Bruins right away.
It's interesting because, like, I haven't watched enough of Zellers at North Dakota outside of just looking at the stats and just clips online to tell you, like, oh, yeah, he's ready. Like, it takes a lot for me to think a player's ready to move to pro after 1 year of college. Like, from my own experiences of covering it and talking to people, it's a high caliber player that leaves after their freshman year to go pro, even in the AHL. And that's where I would hesitate with Zellers quite yet. So I don't see him there. But if he continues this way in World Juniors, the Bruins are going to want him.
Well, that's
Like,
what I'm thinking. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I am kind of, because I've only got to see him here, and look at us
Yeah.
disagreeing. Look at we're not supposed to do that, Evan.
I'll get my sword out. It's close.
My only caveat is, yes, you get to see him more. I would be scared that it could ruin his development, because I look at a guy like Dean Letoruneau. I was lucky enough to talk to his skating instructor and such in the Ottawa region when I got to see him over the holidays. I just literally walked into a hockey arena to go take a piss, and he happened to be on the ice, which was still the funniest thing ever. But she said to me, he's not ready yet. He'll be back next year. His skating is there. And then, so I asked her, like, you watching? And I had to ask. I was like, so what do you think of James Hagens? She goes, he's ready. When I watch Will Zellers, his skating is extremely strong, and he is very hard to knock off that puck. And I think that's some of the reasons he's being very successful in the World Juniors right now, because that game that he just played was probably one of the toughest games he's probably played in his life. I would say the game yesterday was probably the toughest game he's ever played in his life, and he excelled. He excelled on that ice.
He did. I don't disagree with that. My thing more so is like, so what does he have? 12 goals with North Dakota so far this year? 11? Somewhere around that, which is good. Very, very good.
He's got 18 games, 10 goals, 5 assists, 15 points. He's a -1.
Yeah, that's awesome as a freshman. I want him to go back his second year and increase those point totals. That's what I want. And then,
because Hagens is in his second year, so it's a little different.
Hagens' second year, that makes sense. He goes to Boston next year, Providence, or wherever. Maybe you're right. Maybe he does start in Providence this year and then goes to Boston next year. However they decide to do it. If they're in the playoff race, I wonder if they just bring Hagens up and say, dude, do your thing. Zellers, though, I think it's smart to go back for a second year. I do. I think there's more confidence that can come out of one thing I've heard from college coaches and even pro guys is there's more confidence that comes out of college. You're still kind of a student. Doesn't feel as much like a job when you're in the AHL. No disrespect. It doesn't feel like the big time. And I think kids like a high time player like Zellers, not saying that he would feel this way, but a lot of times these players feel like, oh man, I'm not in the when am I going to get to the NHL? When am I going to get to the NHL? And in the AHL, you're bussing around to different cities. You're not playing in front of packed houses sometimes. You're around much older players, and I don't know. Sometimes I think you can get more out of that second year in college confidence-wise than you can in the American League. So I would want Zellers back.
I was about to say I wanted to, just because the way he was playing and how strong he was on the puck and his speed, because Zeller's speed, I think, is one of the things that's blowing me away. Mm-hmm. I thought his first step is pretty good. I don't think it's NHL good. I just think it's very good. They're having a hard time containing him. He's able to use his speed and create space with his speed. But I just looked up Cole Caulfield. He played 2 years at University of Wisconsin before he went up. And then he did go to the AHL first. Cole Caulfield.
Oh, I didn't realize he went to
Laval. Played for the Laval Rockets. He went to the AHL 2 years in a row.
My barometer court is like, and this is.
So I'm just using your AHL thing because I think the AHL is a lot better than a lot of people give it credit to.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
I think what the Bruins have been doing this year with Lysell, as much as people might not agree with me, I think has been smart. I think he's got a lot of off ice things he needs to fix. To become a professional, but he's playing well right now. And if he continues this way, when a guy like Hagens does get signed at the end of the year, and I want to like put that in the guarantee category, he's getting signed. He's talking like he's getting signed.
I would be like floored if he was back at BC next year.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't make any sense. You don't let a guy like that go.
My thing is like, I always use this as the barometer, and maybe it's unfair, but like Cale Makar did 2 years at UMass. And I probably said this to you before, but like Cale after year one was a really good college defenseman. He was not, towards the end of the year, he got really good, but he was not throughout, night in and night out, the Cale Makar you guys know now. Like Cale in year 2, though, was that guy every night and was filthy. So
it seems they all do. So like even I just started going through guys' names. Lane Hudson, 2 years as well.
Yeah, and
I
he's
think you know what,
smaller D.
and I lean to you more with these college kids, because I want to ask you one guy who's not even playing in the tournament, but I want to talk about a little bit. But because I think those are the top three. I think the one guy at North Dakota and the two guys at in University in Boston, right? They're the top three prospects for the Boston Bruins right now.
I
Because
completely
the other
agree.
guys in Providence right now are just keep going down that list. But Lane Hudson played 2 years at Boston University
Yeah.
before, and he played 2 years at USA, and maybe it's even good for Will Zellers to be the guy next year for the USA team.
With Cooper Simpson.
Yeah, that's you know what? Very good point. He could be the guy.
Like,
But
I like that.
it's also great to see, as a fan of the World Juniors, to see Boston Bruins players playing in this tournament because it's
It's been a
so
long time.
rare.
It's been a while, hasn't
Oh,
it? When was the last World Juniors? Like, I watch it in America. I don't think it's the biggest thing. It's big with hockey fans, but like down, it's cool the last couple of years because I'll see New Englanders. And like Teddy Stiga scored the winner last year, and I've known him from covering him. And so it's like, oh my God, Teddy Stiga, like the Belmont Hill kid, friggin' wins it for the USA. It's awesome. But from a Bruins perspective, like even this time last year, they were not projected to be have a high pick. So, I'm watching Hagens and you're watching others and you're like, oh, okay, like nice. But now, yeah, with the Bruins added to it, it's like, oh, I'm like I'm digging deep on this, which is
so
which is
you've
awesome.
opened the door. Before we get into, I want to talk about Dean Letoruneau just because he's playing well even without Hagens. He just had a pretty good game just recently. I saw on
Yeah.
the internet there. Um, who has been not just on Team USA, standout guys that you've seen in this tournament so far that you think the Bruins are in the top 10. I think it's safe to say the Bruins are probably going to have a top 10 pick next year, whether it's from the Leafs or it's theirs. That's probably where they're picking. Do you think there's a player playing in this tournament right now that the Bruins should be looking at?
Yes, but I would also say that I haven't watched this tournament close enough outside of USA games and outside of really watching the Bruins guys to give you like they got to go after this guy. I will give you one name. Chase Reed on D is the big name. That's the hot name. 6'2", right shot D man, American, playing for Sioux in the OHL. America. He set up, I think, both of Hagens' goals, or it was a secondary assist on the first. Siga had an awesome dish back to Hagens on his first goal. And then the second, like Chase Reed, I watched and I'm like, oh, if you can get that guy, like that's right shot D, size, two-way abilities. Like, I want that guy. But I like the word from what I've read from prospects guys and just from Twitter is that he's been too good. Like initially he came into this tournament as like a pick 7 through 15 guy. Now he's moved into like pick 3 through 8. And that might be out of the Bruins range. Hopefully it isn't. I mean, look, last year we thought Hagens would be a top 3 pick and he wasn't. So anything can happen. He's the one guy that I watched last night or on Monday night that I was like, hell yeah. Like that's the guy I want the Bruins to get. There are other players I've liked, like Riker Lee I like a lot, but I think he's already drafted. So that's out of the
Yeah,
question.
I think he's Washington. I don't know why I keep thinking Washington or Montreal. I don't know why I keep thinking that. They were saying it about, or Detroit. Like my guy, and he is on Team Canada.
Nashville. Riker Lee's Nashville.
My guy who's on Team Canada is Verhoff. Like if the Bruins are in that top 5, this guy is unreal. So he played.
I agree with you. I just put him out of the question because I think he's a top 3 pick.
But
like,
I don't know why. The way the Bruins are playing right now, I think we're getting in there.
They could.
Like Gavin McKenna is. Everybody says tank for McKenna, and I see it a lot. And I'm like, I don't know. I'd take Verhoff if I had number 1. Like this kid is unreal.
I haven't watched enough. I haven't watched enough of either of them.
He was so strong last night playing in that game for Team Canada. It was his first game. And it was interesting when he almost didn't make the team. I thought because Canada, unlike Team USA, does a lot of galaxy brain stuff. And the reason I'm talking about Canada is because they have some of the best prospects. Team USA and Canada have some of the best prospects. And Slovakia, who US just played, they have some of the best prospects in this tournament, bar none. I think right now, Will Zellers and Iginla are the best players in the tournament right now. They're playing like
insane.
I get McKenna get his goals, but like Iginla's looked unreal out there. Like Utah has a player in this kid. I think the Bruins have a player in Will Zellers. For me, it's Verhoff. It's Keaton Verhoff. Man, that kid, like, if he could be a Boston Bruin, it's solidifying that defense. It's he's not a Matthew Schaefer. I'm not going down that road. Like, that kid is a dynamo, and he's probably about to get named to the Canadian Olympic team, but I think Keaton Verhoff is, for a kid that was an underager and has to wear full cage in this tournament, um, he's something special. I love your pick as well. I think Team USA has a very strong chance of winning this tournament again, and that kind of irks me at the same time. I'm not gonna lie, when I first turned on the game and they were losing, I was like, uh, but I do think Canada has them. They have the better goalie in George.
Yep.
And I think I think Canada has a better defense, but I think that Team USA has a better forward core right now.
Verhoff, I love. I just, as I said earlier, like I think I put him outside of that. Like I would take him for sure right now over Reed because I'm with you. I love him. Like I think he's fantastic. I think he checks all the boxes. He's got the size, the offensive abilities, the defensive abilities, which you want. I still think Court like no, I'm not just saying this because like I said at the beginning of the year, like I genuinely do think the Bruins are a pick 9 through 14 type team. Like I think they are just streaky as hell. And look, if they continue to lay eggs the rest of this trip, I will be singing a different tune next week because they will be in the bottom 5 of the league. And you will have went up against Vancouver and Calgary and Seattle and not won those games. And that's bad. So
Verhoff's a right shot D, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he would fit perfect.
6'4".
Fit perfect. I like McKenna.
Skates like the wind.
I know. Like I that's why like I forget who was saying it to me. Someone said it earlier in the year. Like I almost wouldn't want the Bruins to get the first pick because it feels like you have to take Gavin McKenna. Oh, it was you. Yeah, you're like, you have to take Gavin McKenna. You got to take him. And I will say, like, Corey Pronman at The Athletic, he came out with rankings like a couple weeks ago, and Tynan Lawrence was number 1. McKenna was not number 1. So there is doubt about McKenna being the number 1 pick.
Especially because he's not a centerman.
Yeah, he's a wing, and he's a playmaking wing, too. He's not like a
Marner, people.
He is. Because he's a fan. His IQ and his vision is absurd. But like, if you're let's play the game. If the Bruins did kind of stumble into the number 1 pick, your biggest need is right shot D. And
and it's interesting. And I've always.
But you got to take best available at number 1. So it's what you think is the best player.
But in this draft, there's a lot of the best player. Like I would say, you're getting I wouldn't say a cornerstone, but you're getting a elite player in the top 5. An elite player.
Yeah. You know, it'd be interesting. Like this would be a good video for you, Court. Going back and looking at big defensemen picked in the top 10. How many pan out? Because it feels like they do, but it takes time. Like I think back to like a Victor Hedman. Like he wasn't Victor Hedman immediately. Like Owen Power seems to like just
and same with Griffin Reinhardt. He was another guy. Everybody was like, "Oh, he's going to be amazing," and he turned into
but even like I would be curious to see it.
I would say Bogosian did very well for himself. I would think Chris Pronger did. Just off the top of my head, Chris Pronger did extremely well for himself. And I'm talking big guys, and I know Bogosian didn't have the career that everybody probably thought he was going to have. But he's still playing in the league now, and he's been serviceable throughout his whole career. So I think Jay Bouwmeester's another guy, big kid, that had a very solid career. But I'm sure we could go down the list and name off guys, the Jeremy Lozons of the world. We could do those guys too, and the Jakobs Vorals. We could do that as well. It's very easy to put those guys' names in there, and the Bruins drafted them, and they pooped the bed.
Yeah, but I'm saying like top 5, top 10 picks that are like 6'3", 6'4", and above defense.
I'd have to go back. That's something to look back on.
Just came into my head, and I was like, I don't want to lose this. So that's like I'm putting a pin in that. We'll do that another day. But that's my biggest thing is like if you're right. Like if the Bruins had the number 1 pick, and Verhoff continues to have a really good year at North Dakota. And his speed, everything, and they're sitting there at the draft table like this is the best player. But if they had the number 1 pick and they sit at the table saying McKenna's the best player or Tynan Lawrence is the best player or Stenberg's the best player, but we need a right shot defenseman, then trade down. Like don't
But Verhoff's been like pretty much ranked 2 or 1 in
Yes.
every
Yeah.
game.
No, I'm just saying if they were thinking that, like, you got to take the best available at that spot.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched enough of all of those guys to be like, I believe so and so is the best. Verhoff fits the most. No question, fits the most of what they need. I still think, though, they're not going to be in that spot. I still think they're not going to be in that top 5. But they could lock into it.
I
But I
believe 2 weeks ago, but that team last night, after watching it, because I definitely watched the World Junior game. I watched the first period of the Bruins game, and I was like, I can't do this anymore because it
yeah.
was uninspired. I've said this all year. The Boston Bruins got me as long as they try, and it was brutal. Like when Fraser Minton got manhandled and no one did anything, I was kind of pissed.
I noticed that too. No, and you could
Look,
argue that
it
it's
should have been a penalty, and I think that's what they were trying to do there. And the Bruins had gotten enough penalties that game because they suck and they always get stick penalties. And I think they're getting stick penalties because they're too slow.
I agree.
This piss and vinegar is way too much piss, and they're way too slow out there. I've seen people say they need grit. I'm like, that's all they are. That's all this team is grit. Unfortunately, right now, they're not fast enough.
Did you see in the Athletic? God, this could be an ad for the friggin' Athletic. Did you hear the story? It was like last week. It was on Christmas, I think. It was like predictions for trades where people are going to go, and they had Chris Johnston predicted Kiefer Sherwood to the Bruins, and he's like, "Well, he fits what they do so well." It's like, yeah, that's the problem though. They have enough Kiefer Sherwoods. They also don't need a rental. You and I have talked about this before, but like, you've got that. Go get skill, like, and don't let it be a rental.
Yeah,
Like,
you can get skill with size and speed. Those do exist. They're not going to be unicorns like a Tom Wilson. Those are unicorns or the Kachuk brothers. Like, and as far as that concerned, I just watched Brady Kachuk live, and he wasn't the best player on the ice, and he wasn't even close on the Ottawa Senators. I thought Jake Sanderson, by far, American defenseman, best player on the Ottawa Senators. And then next, Tim Stützle. The guy's unreal. Brady Kachuk was very good at getting in front of the net, but the Bruins have a ton of those guys. They're not even going to the net. It's very interesting. They have these big brutes that are not even going to the net. It was Fraser Minton who went to the net and he paid for it, but he got back up. I think there should have been a penalty there. I think the Bruins penalty woes are getting out of hand, and that's on Sturm, and he's got to figure it out. And I think, this is my personal opinion, they should just start sitting guys. Like, hey, I'd go to Hampus Lindholm. You have another stupid game. I'm just going to sit you. Nikita Zadorov, if you want to go, make besties with the guy over in the corner, and he spent way more time chatting it up with Huberdeau, getting his phone number for after the game last game than actually playing the hockey game, then maybe sit for a game. Because I am at that point where I'm just sitting guys. I don't care. You're losing anyways. Who cares?
Yeah, Zadorov, I think, has actually been stable. Like, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think so too. I just thought the Calgary game, he was terrible.
Yeah, I like Hampus Lindholm, though. I do think there's worry there of like, has he lost a step?
It looks like he has.
When he first came back, they were great when he was in the lineup and bad when he was out. He looked really good, but the last like month and a half-ish, it's been slower, a lot of clutch and grabs, a lot of stick penalties on the way by as guys skate by. Like, that's what worries me with him. And so I'm with you. Like, and even clearing the front of the net, there was a clip going around Twitter against Buffalo where Zach Benson just gets inside on Lindholm and Peak, and they couldn't move him. And then even last night on the OT winner, like, I think Lindholm actually batted it in, but like just lost the net front battle. And that to me is
winner was embarrassing.
It's concerning.
Andrew Peak, whatever he has on Marco Sturm, I want to know. I need to know what he has.
You're still very anti Andrew Peak.
It's not that he is. I looked at his numbers. I just did an analytic video, and I did a video purposely, the video that everybody probably watched either today or yesterday or whenever they're watching it. I went out of my way not to mention names, because I decided if I mention names, then I'm just finger pointing at guys, and I'm kind of being a dink. But the numbers for Andrew Peak, he has the most goals against 5-on-5. The Bruins' biggest issue right now is 5-on-5. It was very interesting. He has more goals against than Mason Lowry. I didn't think Lowry has played all too well, and frankly, I'm almost in the sell high on Lowry, but I don't know if you're selling high with him. But if you can package him and so on and so forth, I don't know what's going on with that guy. His confidence is just not there. What I see on the ice, one game he's good, one game he's bad. But Andrew Peak, they'd be lucky to get a 3rd or 4th round pick for this guy.
Oh, I think you get more.
I
do.
don't. I just don't see unless you've got another guy like Marco Sturm on the other end going, well, I really want this guy. He's the difference maker. Because right now, what you're seeing on this Boston Bruins defense is showing you that Brandon Carlo was not the best, but he was needed. Because
Oh,
Andrew Peeke is
underrated.
so
Yes.
effective as a third pair. He is deadly ineffective as a second pair.
Yeah, I think teams get so desperate at the deadline though, Court, that there aren't that many sellers.
Yeah.
And you get a chance to get a 6'2" right shot D man who pretty good skater, like fine. Like I solidifies a third pair. Like I could see a second and a prospect.
But we're
I
also
could.
spitballing here right now with regards to how bad they're playing. So it's easy to point out like Arvidsson looking bad and even Casey Middlestat having issues because he for some reason, couldn't corral a puck behind a net for life depended on him yesterday, even though when they were playing well, he was great in the corners. Or even Fraser Minton, he's losing a lot of faceoffs when he shouldn't. There's a lot of things that just aren't going their way right now. And
No,
it's
the
unfortunate.
tides are turning against them. I will also say, we talk about top guys. You know who I find myself never really noticing? Elias Lindholm.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the net guy, and he's not going there, and he usually has zero issue going to the net. So I am really worried that him and Pasternak, their injuries are bigger than we thought. Yes, they both have come back, but they're playing like Lindholm is having issues going to the net, and he never has issues going to the net. He's the
Yeah.
bumper guy. He loves it. He doesn't want to go there right now. He doesn't want to go pay the price. So why?
That's the thing. I don't notice him enough. It's really elementary analysis, but I just don't notice him enough, and I that concerns me.
But before we get into the questions, you know who we notice enough? Oh, I know you do, is Dean Letoruneau. And I would love to know what you've been thinking of him this year because after watching him in practice, after talking to his skating coach, I think the Bruins might have a player here.
Well, that's the thing. Is like
And I'm still a might.
Yeah, well, it's not a sure bet. I will carry the same mindset I had last year, and people would say he's a bust. What a terrible pick. I used to say to people, we have no idea. He could be a bust. He still could be a bust, but we don't know. Year one, no idea. You don't know if he's going to be a player or a bust. Last year, certainly the pendulum was swinging more towards bust, but nobody knew. Now it's the other direction. Now you're seeing what he was at St. Andrews, where he was this 6'7", huge center who skates well for his size, has really good skill, great hands, and a deadly shot. And I think for the Bruins, like think back to 2024 when he was picked. It's like you're looking for a potential number one center. And Chris Peters made a great point to me. We did a Bruins beat together last year, and he was like, there's only 32 number one centers in the NHL. 32 legit number one centers. And you can make a case that not every team has one. And you can make a case like the Penguins. They had two for many years.
The Bruins don't have one.
Bruins do not have one. And I'm not saying Letourneau is that, but what I'm seeing this year is at least saying, all right, there's a chance. There's a chance. At the very least, can he be a serviceable pro somewhere in the bottom six on the wing who can chip in a goal every now and again? He's been way more physical this year, using his big size, which is one thing that I think he really struggled with, even at St. Andrews. I mean, he never really had to be super physical.
No, I watched him. He would literally, because that's down, like I'm talking about 15-minute drive from my house. So I was going to check him out a lot because everybody was talking about him around here. He would just butter, just skate through everybody like they weren't even there.
Yeah.
No one even touched him.
Yeah, I mean, you're facing good players, but nowhere at his caliber. So that's been my biggest thing this year is that BC and that he's playing with confidence, and he's not playing with really Stiga or Hagens at all. Like he's been on his own, and I think they've moved him around on the power play. He's scoring scoring some net front goals, but he's also scoring from out high with shots. He's getting open. He's going to high danger areas. So that to me is really encouraging. And I think next year, the next step is going to be, all right, well, you're going to get the top matchups. You're going to be the number one center. In terms of projecting, I still think he's years away. I still think he's probably another year at BC plus a year, maybe two in Providence. There's time.
He needs to work on his skating. That's what I got told from his coach. So
yeah. And but for his size though, like most 6'7" guys are not Like they don't move like that. So
I was told he has better hands than some guys that are playing in the NHL right now, is what I got told.
well, he comes from a crazy athletic family, like
His brother
absurd.
was really good. He was out there too. Unbelievably good.
And so that's why, like, there is it's funny because everybody wanted to write him off after last year. Everybody was so excited to be like, oh, the Bruins missed on another pick. Oh, idiots. It's like, first of all, we don't know, but like I'm okay with them taking that swing there. Like, I'm okay with them saying, you know what? We need a guy who can potentially be a number one center, and this guy can potentially be that.
And it's better than what they've done in the past, the Trent Fredericks, the Johnny Beechers, when they're
Yeah.
picking guys that we know are going to be bottom six. Heck, Trent Frederick right now is laughing all the way to the bank over in Edmonton with his huge contract because they don't even want to play him.
Good. And I guess
It's
good for
almost as
him.
bad as the other guy that's crying about his coach sitting him is Jake DeBrusk.
Yeah, he's healthy scratched. Healthy scratched.
I guess Bruce wasn't wrong there. Jesus.
Yeah. But I go back to with Letourneau, like there's the potential there. Like if he came out this year and was having a bad year, it'd be a different story. It'd be like, oh man, like man, they really muffed up his development, not going to the USHL. And like I still think the USHL would have been good for him, but he's looked like it. And I'm really excited to watch him next year. BC always has high-end recruiting classes, so they have guys coming in next year that are going to battle with him for number one center. And they have Will Moore, by the way. We never talk about Will Moore ever, but like Will Moore should be a top center for that team next year. So like,
well, Letourneau's got what, 10 goals? Hagens has got 10 goals. Like there's a bunch of them that are doing very well.
I believe so. Yeah, no, they've turned it around. BC started a little slow, but look, Letourneau's turned into a top guy, and he's not an afterthought. I mean, you think about like over the offseason, we would talk about the Bruins prospect pool. Like, all right, well, you got Hagens, you know, with Zellers, hopefully that works out. And you got guys like Patra and such. Letourneau was never mentioned.
Well,
even
Zellers, you think about, was so far down. So I'm sorry to interrupt you. Where do you, because we could go on, where do you rank the Bruins prospects now? If you had to do it right now, you're halfway through the year. It's just about to be 2026. Who do you rank number one? Who's number two? Who's number three? Who's number four? Who's number five?
I would love to say I'm going to pick Letourneau ahead of Zellers because of projections, but I still would go Hagens, Zellers, Letourneau as 1, 2, 3, which I think says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
4 and 5 is where you get into, and I'm not going to include Providence Bruins.
Yeah, no, I don't think you should. And I've seen a lot of lists that do, and it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't want to do that. I like Cooper Simpson a lot. Like there's some names in there that I would put, like Simpson, Vashik Blanar, Grenwald, Chris Pelosi. That I would.
Grenwald as a player.
I like him a lot. Like I think he's a very good, kind of like a Brandon Carlo type defenseman. Like just stable, steady, projectable guy. I like that. For 4 and 5, like, oh God, I guess I would do. See, I did this on Nesson on Monday, and I forget what I said.
Oh, sorry. Then I should have done that.
No. I forget what I said 4 and 5. So I don't want to like. I would probably go with some. I'd probably go no, because I'm going to give you a real answer. I'm not going to back out of this or sit on the fence. I will go with. I'll go with Pelosi at 4 and Simpson at 5. So I forget what I said. I'm sick.
I think it's so crazy that Zellers, and you think about it, Zellers and Letourneau probably weren't. Maybe Zellers was in your top 5, but Letourneau certainly wasn't in your top 5 at the beginning of the year.
No, and like it was like if he was in there, it was like if he hits. Now it's like, oh, you probably have a pretty good professional player here, whether that's a bottom 6 guy in the NA or
working his butt off on that ice. Like working his butt off. And he has a program that he's running that he does on and off the ice to get his legs stronger and get his speed there. And I think he's, from what I was told, he's determined. He wants this. He wants it. And that's a good thing.
So I did the interview with him last year or the summer on Bruins.
Yes, very good one. You know what? I will put a link to that interview in the description for this video.
Thank you. And that was interesting. But we actually have a writer at New England Hockey Journal that I put on doing a Dean Letourneau story. And it's going to be deep. It's going to be deep on how he dealt with the pressure and everything and just him. Because I think it's a fascinating story. In today's day and age, after the year he had last year, it would be so easy for him to curl up and be like, screw it. This isn't working. Or like transfer to a new school and be like, I need to restart. This isn't working. And it's been the complete opposite. Like, and I love it. I think it's a fantastic story. And that's why Bruins fans, like, a lot of people were eager to write him off. And look, as I've said before 1,000 times, there's a chance he still isn't that guy. But like, you should want this. That's a really cool story. Like, I like it. And I like the kid a lot too. So,
well, same here. After talking to his skating coach, I'm all in on Dean Letoruneau. Plus, he's a guy that I've watched, playing when he's
up by
private
you.
school. So let's get into the questions. Let's end off the year on questions from the viewers. They all sent it to me, but Evan's here, so we can rapid fire and get through these. So first question from AC8274. Let's pretend the whole team is healthy and you're the head coach. What are your ideal lines and defensive pairings? This is a tough one. I think I'll bring up daily face-off to make our life easier.
Yeah, I was just saying, I'm gonna need to look at the whole roster.
Yeah.
For like, if everybody's healthy.
So I think I would still have Elias Lindholm with David Pastrnak on the top line. And I think that I would try and move it around instead of having Geeky there. I think I would have Husadinov just because of his speed. Okay. I think I would have Fraser Minton as your second line center with Morgan Geeky and Casey. I would have Zaka, Lindholm, Pastrnak as your top line. I would have Middlestat.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot Zaka. I would have Minton, Geeky, and Arvidsson as your second line. Middlestat. Oh man, I'm like running out of bodies real quick, eh? Like, have I put Husadinov anywhere? Middlestat, Husadinov, and Steves is your third line.
Yeah, I like Steves on the third line.
And then I would have Kastelik, Jeannot, and Corrali as my fourth line because I really actually liked them when they were a line, and I only got a game of it, and I didn't understand it. I thought Tanner Jeannot was that line. They were almost like the Bash brothers out there. Like Sturm was able to throw them on the ice, and they just caused havoc.
They did. I think for forwards, I would go. I'm keeping the fourth line of Jeannot, Corrali, and Kastelik. I'm with you on that. I think when you get to the third line, Steves is definitely on mine. I like Minton down the middle there. And I like Hustendinov.
Okay.
I like Hustendinov with that. Second line, I actually don't mind Middlestat. There's a world in which I'd love to see Middlestat with Lindholm and Pastrnak. I would love to see that.
He is a corner guy. He hasn't been doing it lately, but he is that guy that goes in the corners as a winger.
So just to be different, I'll say Middlestat, Lindholm, and Pastrnak, and then I would have who have I missed? Geeky, Zaka, and Arvidsson. Yeah, roll with that. I'd be interested to see it. I don't know if those are ideal, but something different.
And then with the defense, I'm going to be totally honest here. You get Zadorov and McAvoy, and then it kind of falls off a cliff because I think Hampus Lindholm hasn't played well, but he's still going to be your second pair. Asparot was playing. It's better having Asparot with Lindholm, but I don't want to do it anymore. That experiment.
After that penalty at the end of regulation last night, I was like,
I just don't like Lowry with Peak.
I know.
So I have to move Peak up to the second unit, and I have to bring Asparot down. But I think Asparot stays in the lineup, and he plays with Lowry. But I just don't like Peak with Lowry at all. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah, if everyone's healthy, do you swap in? I like Lowry in there. I want to help. I want him to develop, but do you slot in Jordan Harris for Mason Lowry?
I haven't seen enough of him. He's not my hometown boy, so I'm not throwing him in the lineup.
My bias.
And I didn't think he played all that great, but as the Boston fans love to do, if he's a hometown boy, he's Bergeron on the ice, but he didn't play enough for me, so I don't think he deserves a shot in the lineup, even with he's healthy. And then goaltending, here's the different one. I'm going Swayman DiPietro, and I'm sending Korpisalo down without a heartbeat. Like,
I'm fine with that.
Just throwing him down to the minors.
Totally
fine. He
needs
to get his confidence back, and it's gone. His confidence is shot.
He
Every
needs
time
reps.
he plays, I know Ty's going to put out that tweet.
He needs reps. And if the AHL gives him that, great. If someone picks him up, fine. But like I'm with you.
Sturm has zero confidence in him.
None. 8 games. 8 games started in 2 months. Like that. That sums it up.
And he shouldn't have started him in that. There was that game where Swayman looked like it just didn't make any sense when they played him and didn't play. He played against Vancouver, and then he doesn't play the Ottawa game when the Ottawa game mattered more. It was just like, I don't understand. It's just it it's forcing Sturm to make decisions that I don't think he wanted to do, and it was fine. And then Korpisalo, I did the numbers. I have a video out. He's regressed huge. He's regressed.
Oh,
He was bad last year, and he's worse this year. And his rebound, it's like everything. Like every analytical number you can look at for this guy is bad. Like Dominic
okay.
Tiano thinks he's just blind out there, and the guy just needs glasses. He'll solve the issues. My dad used to
Did
joke.
Dom say that? That's an
Yeah,
interesting take.
because he says his mask, he just can't see through it. He got a new mask and he's having an issue with it. And it's interesting. It was funny when he said it because my dad said Esposito, famously a very good goalie for the Chicago Blackhawks during the 70s, was blind. So guys used to take shots from the point because they knew he couldn't see it because he refused to wear
Oh.
contact lenses.
Huh.
Yeah.
As someone who wears contacts, anybody can do it. I don't have one today.
Well, I guess it was different back then, but yes. But I hope that answers your question. So this is a funny one. JR Hunt 414 asks, why does the Zoric stick keep breaking and what will it take to hold up? To be honest, guys, sticks are breaking very easily. This is the easiest answer ever. It's because they're all changing the flex to the whippiest sticks possible. No more 98 flexes or 88 flexes because they're getting better shots off with flexes and they don't care. $500 stick to them is free, so they don't care.
Who was the player mentioned? Zadorov? Okay, yes. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's
the flex.
Kids are the same way, by the way. Kids don't use high flex anymore either.
Well, it's funny you say that. I've been using like 78, 80 flex for like years. And then my dad, former NHL player, was like, what are you doing? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, don't you want an advantage? He's like, you play men's league hockey. Get like a 55, get an intermediate stick. Like, what are you doing? Who cares? He's like, it's 50% cheaper. You break it, you break it. Like, you need the whippiest stick possible. He's like, you don't have a shot anymore. You're old. I was like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right. It is. And more kids now are realizing that.
Next question is Hockey Pickle. What Bruins prospects do you think have risen and fallen most this year? I think we've already answered that. I truly think we have. AC8274. Is it time to trade Lysell? I'll let you go first.
I say no. What are you getting for him? Like, this is not the time to. You're not getting anything. Like, I would rather. I keep saying, like, I want to see what you have. He's here. Like, if you bring him up and he's nothing, then whatever. But like, I don't think you've fully seen it yet. I know there's a lot of stuff about him down there, but like, if he is what gets you over the top in a trade package for someone who's part of your core long term, like, I'm not saying they should do it, but like, let's say it's like a Rasmus Anderson, you want to go out and get him, and Calgary's like, we want X, Y, and Fabian Lysell. Okay, fine. Like, I'm not hesitating there, but trading Lysell just to trade him, I'm not for.
And I think you gave Anderson's a perfect example of a guy where I think the Bruins probably already did hey, we'll give you Patra, Lysell, and whoever else you want on the Providence Bruins. And they were like, no. And they could offer Lysell, Lowry, and Patra, and Calgary still no. So I think Lysell's value is very low. I know the Edmonton Oilers are still sniffing around on him, and they're not even wanting him to solve issues. I think Lysell, as much as he is performing in Providence and as much as some people on Twitter want to continue to beat the Lysell drum, I think until he plays in the NHL, nothing matters. So it is what it is. And they're not going to call him up on a road trip. And the fact that they didn't call him up when Pastor was down and Arvidsson was down tells me they're not calling him up anytime soon.
Agreed.
The Fool in the Rain asks, holiday cheers. What do the Bruins use for neutral zone trap? Do they use a 1-3-1? What do you suggest for the team at their skill level? So they use a man-on-man coverage, which is unfortunate sometimes for the neutral zone, I feel. It can look like a 1-3-1 sometimes, but they don't really use the 1-3-1. That's more Bruce Cassidy. He loves that bad boy.
I like that question. I like when people ask about systems and stuff. That's
Fool in the Rain asks a lot of questions like that. A lot of times I do a lot of videos because he asks really thought-provoking questions. But when you're doing a man-on-man system, which Team Canada is doing right now in the World Juniors, it's very hard to do anything but that.
Yeah, my issue with man has always been like if you're not way better than the other team, you're gonna struggle with it because once one guy gets beat, you're screwed. I
Like the
remember the
Bruins right
Anaheim.
now.
Yeah, I remember the Anaheim Ducks used to do this when they were rebuilding, and they ran man in the D zone, and you would just watch guys get beat left and right, and breakdowns everywhere, and the other team would score. So I'm a big fan of zone and the center being the support guy for your 2D and your wings, and in the neutral zone, kind of a similar type thing.
I have seen the Bruins use the 1-3-1, but I think that they're just reverting back to what they did previously, and I've also seen them do the 2D hanging back, only having 2 in the neutral zone and having someone hang high, possibly like a pasta to get, like, if you have someone like Zach has got a very active stick as much as some people wanna complain about him. His stats don't look great right now, but he's very, very active stick, and he can sometimes chip the puck up. Fraser Minton is, like, the next active stick guy. So they'll sometimes do a play where at the neutral zone, if they're behind, they'll have only 2 guys in the neutral zone, 2D back, so they're trying to hit the man up high. They do that a lot, but it's good. I like it. Is there a particular system that produces better checking opportunities, like man on man versus 1-2-1?
What do they mean in the like? Where do they mean in the
I'm
D
thinking
zone?
they mean I don't I'm gonna take this as it can't be the neutral zone because I think the neutral zone, you can clog it up with a 1-3-1, but then it's boring hockey. It's like what the Tampa Bay Lightning used to do.
And
And
you're
then
just standing there, so there's not a
yeah,
lot of chances. Like you're just trying to hit moving targets. Your way to beat the crap out of teams is if someone else is doing the 1-3-1, you dump the puck in, and your forward skates 100 miles an hour into the defenseman.
you mean like
That's
Eric
like
Carlson when he was on the Ottawa Senators against the Bruins in the playoffs?
yes, like that's the way.
I don't like the 1-3-1. I think it's too easy to just do lob passes and stretch them. You can stretch a team way too easily. I get the man on man. It's a tough question because unfortunately, I think for me personally, you have to be more adaptive and your system should change based on who your opponent is or vice versa. If you're at home, they adapt to you, vice versa, or you adapt and make adjustments in game. Bruce was phenomenal. Claude Julien was phenomenal at making adjustments during games. I once was told by a person in the Bruins organization when they were playing the Leafs once that this was going to be when they were going into game 7. He says, don't worry about it. They don't make adjustments.
Well, this is my thing. So I'm with you. You have to change based on who you're playing against. It was actually funny. Johnny Lazarus did an interview with the Western Michigan head coach. I forget the Western Michigan head coach's name. And he was, who's the toughest to game plan against? He's like, we don't game plan against anybody. When we instill confidence in our guys, we just have them run our systems, and they're the best guys on the ice and whatever. And I thought that was so interesting. I'd never heard of anybody doing that. Personally, for in the neutral zone, I like a 1-2-2, and I like your D up. I want that F1, that first forward. I want them up on those opposing defensemen. I want those other 2 forwards sort of taking away those wings, and I want the 2D up. I want them up. I don't even want to. I want to try to get turnovers before my own blue line and the red line. That's mine.
So in a matter of time, because I'm looking at it, and he's got a lot of questions, and some of them are great. I think this one will have a little bit more conversation, because right at the season with the goalie tandems, there's no rumors right now, but he has an idea, and he's been saying this a lot in my chat, and I kind of love the idea. Montembeault to Boston,
Huh? From
Montreal.
Montreal?
Yeah, so Montreal has Dobish and they have Fowler, and Montembeault's the odd man out. I've been saying this forever. It was very funny. Like last year, but it was like, oh, Dobish. I was like, no, Fowler's the goalie of the future in Montreal.
Yeah.
Dobish is your backup. Montembeault might be a guy the Boston Bruins could. They love a reclamation project, and Don Sweeney knows him. He had him in the Four Nations. It could be a possibility, but the issue is Montreal trading within the division, especially a goalie, is crazy pants.
Yeah, the price is going to be higher because of that, and I'm not dying to give up future assets for a backup. That's my one thing. It's not a bad idea though, because he is the odd man
Our
out.
backup is terrible right now.
Yes, but you also have DPH down in the AHL, and this is the perfect year to figure out if he's anything.
Bruins would be in a playoff spot if Korpisalo wasn't the backup and they had someone else.
I don't disagree with that. No, actually, yeah, I definitely don't, because if they were 2 points better, they would be in a playoff spot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But Fool in the Rain, I will respond to the rest of your questions. because I just want to, in the case of time here, and I know Evan's got stuff to do, and so do I, because we're doing this the day before New Year's Eve. Mike asked, "Do you wait until the deadline to trade guys out?" Um, quick, simple answer. For the Boston Bruins right now, yes. They weren't in on Quinn Hughes. They're not going to be in on any of these big guys, and I don't see anybody doing a lot of moves because of the Olympic break this year.
And wait till teams are desperate.
Yes.
Wait till teams are seeing other teams and they go, we need a third line right wing. Oh, there's Victor Arvidsson. We need a third pair right defenseman. That's Andrew Peak. Like, we'll pay extra. That's what if the Bruins were buying, I would say start doing it now, but they're not going to be buying. So,
and then Ricky D asked, will the next Bruins move be a well, he says Hampson Lindstrom. I'm thinking he's meaning Hampus Lindholm, or
I like
a Brad Marchand trade. I'm a little confused on this because Marchand's no longer here, and I just don't see them moving Lindholm. Unless it was an Erasmus Anderson trade, but at the same time, Lindholm's got to decide whether he moves or not. It's just a lot of times when people say trade this guy, you just can't move him right now.
No, you can't, especially with
you'd lose value on that move. Gamer Mermaid asks, could the Bruins get a D-man in trade involving Lysell and Potsy? I think we kind of answered this. I think both right now their value is lower. You could probably get a bottom 6 guy, but then you're trading Lysell or Poitras at a lower value and could get, I hate saying this, could get burned, but that's just the way it is. This is a business. You don't want to trade low. You want to trade high.
You have them. Like I'm with you, Court. I don't know what you're getting with those two guys. Like, you're not getting a defenseman, a core piece of the future. You're not getting Rasmus Anderson with those two. So that's my biggest gripe with that.
I'm gonna answer some of these people in the chat. I'm gonna do 2 more because I think these two are a fun little thing. Mason asks, should we trade for Steven Stamkos? I think that would boost us tremendously and make us a playoff team. My answer is no. I don't think we should go for any veteran players right now. This team is not load up on veterans.
No, I'm with you. I thought you were going to say, but
yeah,
no, like, no, I'm a no. I'm a no on that.
Anyways, he has a no trade. He gets to choose where he's going.
No, I'm not. I'm a no. You actually don't really need another middle 6 right wing. Like,
no,
I'm a no on Stamkos.
You technically already have Geeky and Pasternak. You're fine.
By the way, that whole like experiment in Nashville has shown you that trying to sign a bunch of vets in free agency does not work. So.
Yeah, I think the Leafs also showed everybody that in the early 2000s. I don't know why it's still a thing.
that too.
NL Ryder asks a question that gets put into my. It's just the famous Boston Bruins question: is it time to move on from Swayman and Korpisalo? I think it's definitely time to move on from Korpisalo. I don't get the Swayman thing right now. He's like a top 10 goalie in the league. I don't get it. I saw people blaming Swayman for last night's game. I truly believe, this is just my opinion, it's not a fact, people are very upset about what he said during his thing, which is still crazy. All he said is he wants to make money for his family. God forbid someone does that. And then Cam Neely got butthurt about it and made his stupid comment in the media, and everybody got mad at him. His cap hit really isn't that big of a deal. The cap's gone up so much that his cap hit next year is like him making $7 million. Like, it doesn't matter anymore.
No, part of the thing in this city is you hate the goalie.
Yeah,
like, that's it. Because Swayman's been good. Like, he's fallen off a little bit the last couple of weeks, but he's still
played good last night though.
Yeah, thought he was fine last night. Helped you out a ton. Still near the top of the league in goaltending. So like, yeah, Swayman Korpisalo is not the problem. The problem is Korpisalo. And the problem is just they're riding Swayman. Like
100%.
He has to play a ton. So that's
their problem is their defensive system as a team, not their defense, but I would love to upgrade their defense. They let way too many high danger chances in. They're not clogging up the middle, and they don't cover the front of the net, and they're getting way too many penalties. I also just talked about this in a video. And then there are a couple questions actually are all asking, are we going to cover the World Juniors, Duke asked? Well, we just did. So
damn right we did.
I want to thank Evan for joining us. As always, click like and subscribe. Evan, where can people find you? What should they be looking out for in the new year from Evan?
Oh, the new year. Bruins Beat on Bruins Ringside YouTube. So after you watch Court's videos, come over and hang out with us. Court's over there quite a bit. You can check us out there. And if you like prospect stuff, if you care about college recruiting and those kinds of things, subscribe to New England Hockey Journal. Doing stuff all the time. I'm getting off this and going to do a story on the top sophomores in high schools to recruit in the area, because January 1 is the day that colleges can call those kids, and then August 1 is the day they can offer them. So it's a big time for that. And that's where you can find me. Those are the two main places.
Awesome. Thank you, Evan. I'm going to put a link to everything Evan just said in the descriptions down below.
Thank you, Court.
I appreciate everybody. It has been a phenomenal year here at Bruins Diehards. I truly, truly, truly appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you next year.